Hello, okay friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to look at my Phalaenopsis bellina alba by Equestris alba. If this is your first time watching my video, my channel is all about orchids. From what orchids I have, how I grow them, my thoughts on certain orchid topics, to what orchids are blooming, etc. So if you want to follow along my orchid hobby adventure, please consider subscribing to my channel and turn on the notification. This orchid is blooming for the very first time since I purchased it. Like I said earlier, it's a cross between Bellina alba and Equestris alba. And because of the alba in its parentage, the flower doesn't have a very intense color. However, I really love the magenta lip. It's very thick and the lip is pretty big. Consider that the overall flower size is not that big, and I really like the spots that come through, as well as its fragrance. Yes, it's fragrant, and the fragrance really is coming from the bellina. It's super fragrant, and I just enjoy the smell very much. And you can see it's a sequential bloomer, so it's actually elongating its spike, and there is a bud forming at the time of this video. And currently this orchid is potted or grown in an 8-ounce cup with pure sphagnum moss media. And this is one of the method I'm trying out, that I've been trying out or experimenting. So there is no hole at the bottom of this 8-ounce cup. So the care for this type of growing method is you really should only water when the moss is completely dry until it's really crispy, and then you add water and let it soak until it has completely absorbed enough water. And then as you dump out the water, you just have to make sure that no water can be dripping out anymore, and that's when you know that you've dumped out enough water, and then you can put it back to wherever you usually place your orchid in your home. What I usually do is that I would just put it back to the blue outer cup that it usually sit on, and I use the outer cup because I want to make sure that I block out unnecessary sunlight, so that way the media can be less of algae. And for the rest of the video is a collection of photos I've taken along the way. But one thing I do want to mention is that you might have noticed from previous video clip that there is one yellowing leaf in the background. This orchid actually had a couple more leaves, but since then it has lost 2 leaves or 3. But each time though, it was just 1 leaf yellowing at the time, so it was never a big alert for me to take any action. My past experience has been that if an orchid is losing 2 leaves or more at one time, at any single given point of time, then that's usually because there is some kind of root rot, or this orchid is somehow not unhappy. But if it's 1 leaf at a time, I would say not to worry. Even though it was losing leaf, it was still growing its flower spike and come to eventual bloom, so I think it's okay. But I do think that after it's blooming, this orchid will be due for a repot. I need to transport it to a bigger container, and I need to do something with its area roots. And these are not really area roots, they're just simply roots that have grown, but then because the cup is pretty shallow, so it didn't grow deep into the cup, and so instead it just kind of grew along the edge of the cup and come out. So every time I look at this orchid I think of Medusa because of all the crazy roots that are in the air. But overall, I'm really pleased with this orchid because it's its first blooming for me, and I love its fragrance, I love its spots, and I love the color of its lip, and as well as the size of its lip. I do fertilize this orchid from time to time, and every time I do so, it's always with only quarter strength of the recommended strength. But my watering cycle for this orchid really depends on humidity and temperature. Only when I water other orchids and I discover that the moss media is completely dry and crispy, that I will give it water. So it really is going from completely wet to completely dry. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and this is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please consider subscribing and turn on the notification. Happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!